community meeting, and he hooked up with a guy called Sidney Carter, who's to be credited, in my opinion, to the breakthrough in this 4 by 400 meters.
You mean Tim Money?
Tim Money.
Oh, I thought you meant Tim Doctor.
No. Tim Money hooked up with Sidney Carter, who he got him on his team. And his team ran 4 by 400 meters. And they broke some records in the 4 by 400 meters. And but he was one of them. And then likewise, Alpheus had run in college and had retired and came back through Sidney Carter. But it's normally a rare experience that we have many people who don't go through the system. Anybody who has talent, somebody's going to pick them up. You know, you have just a few people who people don't pick up. That's all.
Two things, if you would. One, what would you say was the influence of Ferguson? Maybe I can't remember what his name right now. But, as far as because I mean, she for a long time.
Debbie?
No. Chanel.
Yeah.
I mean, Chanel was a pre-runner to
Yeah. Sometimes when you look around, you wonder what it was, because now it's old hat. But she set the pace. She went to the first World Cup in Düsseldorf by winning in Jalapa, I think it was in Mexico, and got to the first World Cup. This was in 1977. Chanel was a great sprinter and hurdler. And Chanel was the alternate for the team in 1984. Oh, I didn't talk about that. He was 6th in 1984. And 15 years later, Alpheus and Pauline was still around, but we had Ollie Fowler and Debbie Green. But Chanel was able to, it wasn't until 1989, after Chanel had competed for the Bahamas for 14 years, that she was defeated in the long jump by a girl called Daphne Saunders out of the Huddy Power of Holmes, who was the first Bahamian to win a bronze medal in the university games. But Chanel with the sprinting, people don't remember her for sprinting, but definitely for the long jump, because our record is still there, tied with Jackie Evans.
And Alpheus, what would you say is the state of current state of track and field, and what's the future look like?
The state of track and field is that we growing, and the next year we have an opportunity for the world champions. We will make our mark like we made in 2007 and 2009. Unfortunately, when I say that the Bahamas were 8th in the world championships in Osaka, it ain't no big thing. We beat Cuba, and we were right behind Jamaica. For the Bahamas to beat Cuba, you know what that is? And Britain and all of those countries. It is my belief that next year that we will climb up the ladder again, based on our people in the 4 by 400 meters. It's going to be, last year in Berlin, we had an unfortunate incident in the relay, so we couldn't get in to the next round. But between that, the women's relay, remember we won a medal again when we didn't think we could win a medal in the women's relay. We still have some, Levan Sands is still there. We have 400-meter runners coming up. I think that we're going to do very well next year and in London. And for that reason, I should have brought my shirt. We got a new shirt because we have a fundraising program called London 2012, where we are looking for people to support. Not when we get to London, because we'll never get to London if we don't get the support now. The problem with people is that they don't get excited until something happens. But it's a chicken and the egg. Something is never going to happen until you get the funding. And we have 17, I think it's 17 going away this year. And that's a lot of teams. And I think that we'll make our mark in the World Junior, we'll make our mark in the and every place else.
Let's keep on.
Yeah.
Let's keep on.
Okay, now I just want to piggyback off of the question earlier. We hear a lot of talk about this perception that Jamaica has arrived at the pinnacle of what do you call it, sporting or track and field heaven. And they interject this idea of homegrown products. To what extent?
They just started that recently now.
Well, when I say I've been hearing it now for about a year or two maybe, to what extent is that really true, to piggyback off that? And if that is the case, what do our local organizations, what are we doing to attract our local talent to come home?
There are two things. Number one, in the United States college system, you got to run. You don't have a choice. You get a scholarship, you don't have a choice. So Jamaica has been in the college system forever and ever. Every NCAA championship, you see Jamaicans, you see Trinidadians, whoever it is in this area, they go. Jamaica decided, the only people who don't go in the area is Cuba. Jamaica has decided that they would do, not a homegrown, it's called not a regional development center, a high performance center. And you had a number of the coaches, two coaches in particular. One who coaches Powell and one who coaches both. And they got a great rivalry, and which is good, because the rivalry is very thing. And they've decided they don't need to get them involved. They run where they wish. And that has made a difference. They've had a number of other people along with them. I am told that when you go down there, it ain't no big thing with how the place look. It's just that they're there and they're taken care of. And we have been talking about that for a while. And when, as a matter of fact, we're looking at doing a gym or weight, whatever it is, the kind of development, etc. But some athletes say, and Debbie Ferguson in particular, she said, Mr. Finlayson, when I'm in Nassau, I am on a vacation. I don't feel that I can train. The atmosphere here tells me I can't train. I have to go to Orlando or to Miami to get away from the Bahamas and concentrate on what I'm doing. So we're working on it, and hopefully it will happen.
Well, I just speak on Gail in particular talking about the athletes going away. Sometimes, to the States, right? There are some good coaches in the States, but there are many more good coaches in the Bahamas. But what we don't have here is the same thing as Cuba's going on. This is the Jamaican thing. Anyone that's really good here is so good that they have no local competition because we've got a small population. Now what we do get in the States, whether the coach at the university is any good or not, they compete every week against good people. So if our good people are there, they've got to get better and better and better. I'm not saying there are no good coaches in the States, but you think, Hope probably knows, I think we have probably a dozen Bahamians coaching at major universities in the States.
Yeah.
So it's not that all the great coaches are in the States,
Yeah.
the great competition is in the States. And I think part of the ability of Jamaicans to stay home now, there are so many of them that are good, that they can get the competition they need right away.
But
That's
you know
only
something?
one of them.
What's her name? The 200 champion. She is the Debbie. I'm in Orlando. What's her name again? From Jamaica. She is with Debbie. So she is not one of them that's home. Yeah. But you have your options. That's the point.
Good.
He wants to know.
Oh, you want to say that? Yeah, he's good.
You want to
He's going to
start?
ask you a tricky question.
You want to start running? You go ahead.